What is up, everybody? Today what we're going to be doing is building a PC. Alrighty, so first we're going to start off with the motherboard. This is a Dell E93839 motherboard. It's very durable. Alright, so first thing that we're going to want to do is install our CPU. And for this, what we're going to do is we're going to unlatch this part and then bring that back. And then we're going to grab our CPU. Here we have an Intel Core i5-4590 CPU.
And what you want to do here is line up the triangles on the CPU with the triangles on the motherboard to make sure that the CPU goes in right, or else it will not work.
And so then what we're going to do is we're going to bring this down, and then we're going to put this latchet down underneath this area right here. Alrighty, now that's complete. We're going to go ahead and open up our memory modules. And for today, we will be using DDR3, two 8 gig sticks of RAM clocked at 1600 megahertz. So we'll install it into this second one right here. And you should hear a click every time that it goes in. And you want to place the second one across from it, furthest from it. So now we can walk up the other memory modules, and these automatically walk up. Alright, next we're going to plug in some wires. Right here we have a standardized ATA cord, which basically delivers power to your components. So we're going to go ahead and take it, and right here there are certain slots, and there's certain slots in the motherboard. I'm just going to plug this one into the blue. Also make sure that it does say motherboard on it. There's like a little symbol on it that would say motherboard. You plug that in, you'll hear a click, and it'll be in there. And then we'll take our second one, and it's basically the same thing. Just plug it into another port, just like that. And now they're both in there. Next, what we're going to install is our SATA and our P4 cables right here, which will deliver power to your hard drive, SSD, or M.2 slot. So right here, there's a big notch that will line up with all of these, and you're going to plug it in, just like that. And those are all the cords connected so far. Next, you want to grab your case, and the case that I'm going to be using today is an Optiplex 920. It's a very small, standardized board, but it does work like it's supposed to. So we're going to flip this onto its side where you would see a little notch in the case. And you're going to pull that back and then pull this up and then remove the top and set it somewhere. Alrighty, next, it's very, very complicated, but we're going to be grabbing our motherboard. We're going to make sure that none of the wires are in the way of us placing our motherboard inside the PC. We're going to gently place it in here. Still making sure that there are no cords in the way. And then you want to attach your I/O according to the case. And then from there, you want to grab the screws that came with the case or that came with the motherboard. And on this motherboard, there are 3 holes at the top and 2 at the bottom. And you're going to want to go ahead and start screwing those in. And the reason that you want to screw these in is that way your motherboard does not just fall over, or something bad will happen if that does happen. Alright, now that the motherboard is in place, you want to make sure that it is in place. So you're just going to, twist it around and stuff. Make sure that nothing falls out. And then the next most important step is installing your CPU fan. Here, this is the stock CPU fan that came with the motherboard. And we're just going to plug it in right here. Just like that. And then we're going to take our screws. We're going to start screwing in to the motherboard at the designated screw holes. Alrighty. Now that we have the CPU fan in, there will be a plug that we have to plug into our motherboard, and usually it's at the top of the case, and you're just going to plug it in just like that. Make sure that's securely in there, And there we go. Our CPU and fan is now connected. Next, what we need to do is connect our power. Now over here, we'll be using a standardized power supply that has cords connected to the motherboard specifically for this motherboard. So we're going to set this all to the side, because in this case, it does fit, but if I want to install a dedicated graphics card, it has to stay on the outside. Alright, and then, so the yellow one plugs into the motherboard at the back. There will be a big thing. And then right here, there's a plug that you want to plug in. That's basically the same. Just plug it in just like that. And there you go. It should be working now. The next cords that we want to plug in is connected to our case. So this blue one right here, we're going to plug it into the blue designated surrounding ports. And then for our red one right here, that connects to our power signal, is going to plug in all the way into the back right here, just like that. And then we actually have our power that tells the computer, like power the motherboard on. So we're going to plug that in. And then from there, here's a case fan that we need to plug it in. And there will be a port right over here that you plug it into, just like that. And then over here in the case, there will be another cord. And you really just want to make sure that you are plugging it into the right ones, but it should be visually represented which one should go in which.
So right here, what happened is what you never want to do, and it was a mistake that I made that nobody should do. I left a wire underneath my motherboard, which was inhibiting me from plugging it in. And so I had to take the entire motherboard out, the CPU fan out, all the wires, just to get to this one wire. And then I gotta put it all back together. Just a little reminder, don't ever do this, because I had to speed this footage up to 3000 in order to play it for 10 seconds.
Just like that. And then for our final cord that needs to be plugged into our motherboard, just like that, which would be your audio. Alrighty, so next what we want to do is install our bootable device. And so automatically with the case, it came with this. And today we'll be using a hard drive. I will do another tutorial on how to install an SSD in another video. But we can, so what you want to do is you want to press these, and it's kind of like try your best to slide it out, just like that. And what you're going to want to do is you want to place your hard drive in here, but make sure that in this way that your cables, like where you connect it, is facing the right way, facing upside down, just like this. Put it in there, just like that. And what you do is you take this, you just slide it in there as best as you can. Just like that, it is locked in there. You'll hear a raw click. What we're going to do is we're going to place it down until we hit a lock. Forgot to install the lock. Then you're going to place it down until you find the lock. For this, I'm having to move my power supply, of course. And then you want to make sure that this is unlocked. You want to push down and then lock it, just like that. And there'll be like a little knob right here and everything. So this part I didn't really show very well, but let me go ahead and show you. If I grab my PC right here, and I sit down, and I also set it down. And basically, you have certain type of connectors right here that you would connect to the PC. And so for instance, which I still have the hard drive plugged in here, and you would plug them in. So the first one would go into first slot, which would be your SATA cable. So plug that in, and then right here I'm using the orange cable, and I'll go into the slot right next to it. If I flip it around, of course. It's like the USB stuff where it just doesn't want to go in right. Ready, boom, just like that. It is not plugged in. And there we go. It's plugged in now. So I hope that, clarifies it up just a little bit more. Alrighty. Now that that's been installed, we're actually going to install our disk reader now. This usually just comes in Dell or HP cases. I'm gonna plug it in just like that. And then we're gonna take our cord and basically do the same thing, but this time there will be a special type of cord. It will be labeled P4. And you're gonna plug that into your disc reader. And there we go. That is that part done. So now I have to start recording on this in order to move the graphics card over. Alrighty, and so you gotta make sure that this port is open right here as well. And then we're gonna, carefully plug this in.
And this is the moment that I realized something, and it went completely downhill from here. So basically, in this case right here, you need a specific type of GPU, a type of GPU, for it to fit. And I thought I had one available, which was a GTX 745. That did not fit. Well, kind of. I had to make some, let's say, modifications to my case. And that still didn't work. So basically, I'm just going to show you the end result. But, that's how to build a PC without installing a dedicated graphics. Because I did not realize that part until after already doing it.
Now, this is not like your standard wall, thing. This is actually meant for high voltage, high wattage type of power supplies. We plug that in just like that. It'll have a blue light. Then we place that down. Alrighty, so make sure that everything is plugged in, mouse and all that stuff. We're going to turn it on. And it does look like all the fans are spinning correctly. If you place your hand right here, it should be vibrating. That'll be your hard drive. But all the fans are spinning. And it looks like we did have something come up just now, and it is working. So that is how you would successfully accomplish building a PC. I hope you enjoyed the video. Till next time.